Now, right now on Daybreak, boil water orders over after 4 days of inconvenience. Elma, Orchard Park, and Aurora residents finally have an answer after a massive water main break. Plus, talks end without a deal. After 21 hours of negotiating, the U.S. and Iran remain at odds. We have the latest from the vice president. And out to eat at one of Buffalo's historic office buildings, the new dining experience inside the Brisbane building.
Live from 2 on your side, this is Channel 2 News Daybreak.
All right, up and at 'em on this Sunday morning. Thanks for joining us here on Daybreak. I'm Rob Hackford. It is just past 6:30 right now, about to be 6:31 on this Sunday morning. We appreciate you joining us. I'm Rob Hackford. We're going to be getting to the weather in just a second here as we get Kevin O'Neill up to speed and the lights turned on here. And Kevin, a pretty nice day yesterday, changing a little bit today.
Pretty to look at yesterday, as promised. Yesterday was the loveliest of the 7-day forecast, but also the chilliest. We're going to be warmer today, thanks to a warm front, but it's going to bring us additional cloud cover and some shower chances. And your shower chances vary according to where you live. Changes in latitude, changes in attitude, right? In the 30s right now across western New York. We do have some rain coming. And the more north you are in our viewing area, our Canadian viewers, our viewers near Lake Ontario, you're more likely to get some showers this morning. For our viewers by the NYPA line, now Olean, Salamanca area, you are less likely to get a brief shower this afternoon. A dry morning for all of us, but we'll let Future Look portray this. I would project a little bit more showers for Buffalo here, and again, midday or so, I think a brief shower will work its way through. We'll be measuring it in hundredths of an inch, so it's one of those days where I see a lot of dry time. If you get a shower, it's likely to pass rather quickly. And if you live, south of, especially south of Ellicottville, you are likely to avoid showers today. The temperatures will actually warm into the low 60s as well with the southern flow. So again, today, a lot of clouds, a lot of warmth, and a brief passing shower, especially for areas north today. We'll talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow, a good chance of rain for the morning commute. Rob will have the details in a little bit.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. We'll enjoy the warm-up. All right, new this morning, we saw Buffalo police responding to an overnight scene on Deerfield and Litchfield Avenues around 3 o'clock this morning. It's not exactly clear what happened here. We have reached out to Buffalo police for more information, but we saw officers blocking off part of the road, checking inside a white SUV with a flashlight. Again, we have reached out to Buffalo police and we'll update you when we learn more. Well, thousands of residents in western New York are now safe to use their tap water without boiling it after the boil water advisory and notice that was in place for several days. The order was put in place Tuesday after the water main break in the town of Elma. Officials there say that order has been lifted as of Saturday morning. They got an update in their testing, and the water samples came back negative for harmful bacteria, meaning the water was not contaminated during the recent loss of pressure, but this was a precautionary measure. This also means that residents in parts of Orchard Park and Aurora no longer need to boil their water as well. Well, a man from out of state is facing charges in connection to a shelter-in-place order in Fredonia. And police say 44-year-old Kyle Denhart was taken into custody after an incident on White Street this past Wednesday. Officers were responding to a call about an unwanted man who may have been armed and refused to leave the woman's home. Well, police say Denhart barricaded himself inside, prompted a shelter in place in the area, and he eventually surrendered after several hours of negotiating. Denhart is charged with menacing, criminal trespass, and several weapon counts as well. And this weekend, we are marking World Parkinson's Day. It's a time to raise awareness about a condition impacting more than 1 million Americans and millions more worldwide. As 2 on your side's Alyssa Clazel explains, she has a closer look at the early warning signs and why doctors say recognizing them matters.
It's a growing problem in an ever larger number of patients.
On World Parkinson's Day, Dr. Jonathan Riley, medical director of functional neurosurgery at the University of Buffalo, says awareness is one of their most powerful tools.
There's a number of ways that we try to engage into the community, none of which are completely successful and none of which are enough.
The National Institute of Health says 500,000 Americans are diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, but undiagnosed cases likely boost that number up to 1 million Americans, a number expected to double by 2040.
You're not doing anything, you're watching TV, and your spouse or loved ones kind of comment that, your hand's moving a little bit, and it wasn't before. And so you can kind of begin to see that, like so many other problems, there's lots of different ways that this can kind of crop up.
Dr. Riley says signs could start with a quieter voice, stiffness when walking, or even smaller, cramped handwriting. Because those signs can be subtle and develop gradually, they're often dismissed or mistaken for something else.
Maybe it's reaching out to your primary care physician, getting their thoughts. Maybe it's requesting a referral to a neurologist, but it's one of those things that deserves a conversation.
But he says hope is on the horizon as treatment options continue to expand.
There are brand new surgical therapies that are actually coming to this area within the next 6 months or so that allow us to interact with these targets in the brain without even making an incision.
On your side in Buffalo, Alyssa Clausell, Channel 2 News.
Well, 6:41 on this Sunday morning, and after nearly 24 hours of talks in Pakistan, Vice President J.D. Vance and his negotiating team are returning home with no deal to end the war in Iran. Vance saying while the two sides had a number of good discussions, it did not result in an agreement to end the conflict. He says the U.S. delegations left Iran with an understanding that this negotiation is the final and best offer, and that the U.S. has made their demands clear.
But the simple fact is that we need to see an affirmative commitment that they will not seek a nuclear weapon, and they will not seek the tools that would enable them to quickly achieve a nuclear weapon. That is the core goal of the President of the United States, and that's what we've tried to achieve through these negotiations.
Now, meanwhile, U.S. Central Command says U.S. warships began conducting mine-clearing operations in the Strait of Hormuz to help reopen the safe passage after Iran laid mines in the waterway. Now, the final round at Augusta is starting off with a tie for first. Defending Masters champion Rory McIlroy slipped a bit on Saturday, shooting 1 over par, and is currently sitting at 11 under, tied with American Cameron Young, who had a tremendous day Saturday, shooting 7 under. McIlroy had shots landing in the water, in the trees, and he double bogeyed on the 11th hole. The final round gets underway at 9 o'clock this morning. And the Michigan Wolverines and Niagara Falls native Roddy Gale Jr. are celebrating big this weekend. The March Madness champions took the streets as part of their parade through the Ann Arbor campus as thousands of fans came out to support and celebrate the basketball team. Michigan clinched the title Monday night, defeating the University of Connecticut 69-63, marking the program's second title in team history. Congrats to Roddy and family as well. Well, coming up next on Daybreak, a space for foodies who enjoy their meals with a side of fun and music. We're taking you inside the new restaurant offering all kinds of activities while you head out to eat. Yeah, 6:47 right now on this Sunday morning. Just a spectacular sunrise out there. If you haven't gotten a chance to peek out the window, take a look outside before it goes behind the clouds there. A nice start to your day in downtown Buffalo. And we're heading out to eat. A new spot in downtown Buffalo is offering a unique experience of blending a fresh Mediterranean menu with art, culture, and architecture. And to your sides, Lauren Hall is taking us out to eat at BB's on the Square.
A new restaurant in one of downtown Buffalo's historic office buildings is not only bringing a new dining experience to the city, but it's also celebrating the arts, culture, and architecture.
The new restaurant inside the Brisbane building in Lafayette Square is serving up more than just food and drinks downtown. It's also showcasing local art.
Actually, our show right now is all local artists that did paintings or photography of downtown Buffalo. So that was our opening, because we just opened in March, and that was our opening show.
Beebe's on the Square is named after the building's architect, Milton Earl Beebe, and sits just steps from the Hunt Gallery. The restaurant serves a modern Mediterranean-inspired menu weekdays from 10 to 6.
And we're taking it more kind of Mediterranean, coastal European. We're going to be running a bunch of specials throughout the summer.
Executive Chef Jessica Millis says her most popular dish so far is the mule frites.
White wine sauteed mussels with our parm fries that everyone seems to be pretty in love with right now.
And from house-made soups to Greek-inspired specialties, the focus is on quality and local sourcing.
All of our dressings and everything is scratch made. So I'm just putting a lot of love into all of our ingredients, trying to keep them as fresh as possible, local when I can.
With weekly paint and sips and trivia nights, monthly jazz performances, rotating art exhibits, plus private events and patio season right around the corner. This space is constantly evolving.
We can do micro weddings, rehearsal dinners, baby showers. The architecture down here is beautiful, and we have so many just opportunities here.
We're trying to curate a space that brings art, community, food, drinks, a good space for people to commute downtown before, after, or during work, whether it's lunch, dinner.
Beebe's on the Square is open 10 to 6 Monday to Friday here in the Brisbane building in Lafayette Square. We have linked to more information with this story on WGRZ.com. On your side and taking you out to eat, Lauren Hall, Channel 2 News.